House of the Dead 3.
This is where things start to stink. Rather than copy what made the second installment great, House of the Dead 3 instead focuses on simplifying and destroying whatever pleasing elements the previous games possessed. I guess I never really got to go to arcades much, which is probably why my memories of such places are so vivid. I can remember the atmosphere of those environs, and the sound of the machines blurting out their attract sounds. It was always such an immense joy to be there. Of the times I played House of the Dead and House of the Dead 2 in the arcades, I loved every sadistic and brutal moment. But for House of the Dead 3 I was decimated, destroyed, forlorn and torn. The game felt too different. Even as a dumb teenager I could blatantly see everything they screwed up. Allow me to go over it, with my memory refreshed thanks to the recent high definition port for the PlayStation Move. This re-release is the reason why I wanted to do this retrospective series of reviews in the first place, so that if you haven't played the original games, you don't just end up dismissing the series because House of the Dead 3 sucks. Upon playing the PS3 version, I immediately remembered why House of the Dead 3 annoys me so greatly. Someone thought that changing from handgun to shotgun was a good idea. I know that the buckshot blasting peripheral is a big fascination for fans of House of the Dead 3, in fact, a lot of people have positive memories of the peripheral. But with it came drastic changes. The player could reload without shooting outside of the screen. Also, the rate of fire for the shotgun is far slower than the handgun in the previous titles, and lacked the accuracy of the aforementioned weapon. Outside of the shotgun, there were other things I really didn't like. Remember how I congratulated House of the Dead 2 on its multiple routes? In House of the Dead 3, these are tacked on. There are only 5 stages in each campaign you play, but 3 of the stages alternate. Confused? Rather than have the alternate routes within stages, the player literally chooses stages from a list, and that alone determines which version of the stage that they play. In short, it's a mess. I liked going one way if I failed to shoot a key, or another route if the man crashed his car. House of the Dead 3 contains none of this scope. There's more. I really didn't like the story. In trying too hard to have a story, House of the Dead 3 has completely butchered it. Set at what is currently the end of the series canon, the world has been plunged into an apocalypse. Instead of those diverse, sometimes colourful and exciting environments, the player instead treks through 5 identical looking stages before fighting a rehashed boss from the previous game. You know what else I hated? The voice acting. In House of the Dead 2, it was charming. It was charming because the voice actors clearly weren't trying, or maybe English wasn't their first language. All of Lisa's lines are delivered by someone who clearly doesn't want to be there.
I promised Mom that I'd bring him home. Let's go, G.
G's voice actor is the only one who seems to care.
Lisa, keep running!
Even if his voice acting was terrible, I would give him a free pass because he's the voice of Sheriff George Woodman in Deadly Premonition. It doesn't end there for problems, no way. The rescue system. Remember how in the old games you rescued people? That's right! People! Now do I miss people or what? In House of the Dead 3, the number of human characters can be counted on 2 hands. What about the bald man sneering, "What's wrong with this city?" The man with a goatee yelling, "Help!" like he just wet himself. What about the young lady who tells you the way to Sunset Bridge? No, it's just you and G.
Get back. I'm not here to fight you.
Another thing that made no sense. This soldier zombie takes a month to kill and is the bane of time attack mode. You only get a measly slidge of time for defeating him, and he takes ages, and he has an annoying voice, and he won't die. Another thing that I absolutely detested, the soundtrack. There's no melody. And that's before the overbearing gunfire sounds pummel the music into submission. Last but not least, this port for PlayStation Move is dreadful. The game action takes place entirely in a 4:3 aspect ratio. It can never be changed. The shotgun auto-reloads, taking away my forever joy of shooting outside of the screen. House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return allows you to shoot outside of the screen to reload in both games, but why doesn't this port allow you to? Some game designers are just born special. Speaking of special, the unlockable extra features of the game is actually just one short interview with the creators of the game. It serves its purpose as something you'll watch once but never again. Do you remember how House of the Dead 3 on Xbox contains the whole of House of the Dead 2? I could totally go for that as an unlockable. House of the Dead 3 goes backwards and backwards until even the first installment takes dominion over it in every aspect. You can do better, guys. I hope. A disgustingly average 5 out of 10. Until next time, if we live that long.